It's not about motivation. Winners need discipline. Wake up and win today. Discipline comes from within.
Boxing King Media in association with BOXRAW. With me, Johnny Nelson. Johnny, good to see you, mate. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Nice to be back on the roll again. A good little press conference there. We filmed the gloves are off with. I'm eating patties, so the food down in my mouth. Excuse me. I've been told not to eat on television. We filmed the gloves are off with Richard and Chris yesterday. It was all right. There's not bad blood between these boys. These boys, you know, it's professional jealousy, and that's what it is. And each wants something what the other has. Chris wants to get revenge over over Richard, and Richard wants what Chris has got.
Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of respect. Richard said that at the top table as well. There's mutual respect, and it is a fight game. How much have both fighters improved since that last fight 5 years ago?
Both fighters have improved massively, physically, mentally, emotionally. They've grown up, and they need to. So this is 5 years ago. So I think the fight is going to be a lot more brutal than the first one was. I think you've got two strong fighters there that are now in a position where, one, I think Chris, you know, he's not thinking, you know, I'll get better. He has a responsibility as a champion. In Richard, all the stars have to align. He's at Selhurst Park. He's fighting a guy he's already beat before, as far as he's concerned. Fighting for something that he wants, which is a world title. Last couple of fights, we've seen him start to let those hands go and do what he's got to do. A guy that believes in himself, and that's not overthinking it. All these things have got to come to fruition on the 15th, because if they don't, he loses. And for Chris, you know, he's got to make sure that he's figured out the Rubik's Cube that's in front of him. I know the McGuigans, they devise a great game plan for their fighters, but Chris has done it once, so Richard's done it once, so he's got to think he can do it again.
Ben Whittaker and Ezra. I don't know how to pronounce his surname, so I'm not gonna try to risk it. Ben was quite fired up. We haven't seen that yet in his pro career. It looks like this guy, obviously, he gate crashed the press conference last time out, and he gets his opportunity against Ben. But Ben looks like he felt that it was personal now.
I think Ben's frustrated because he's thinking, how can you let this guy come in? I'm hunting. I don't want to be having to deal with these arguments. I'm arguing with everybody else behind me. I'm halting my career. He wants to move forward. So he's more pissed off with the fact that somebody that's hunting, they're all going to shout him out, but he's more pissed off at the fact that he's got to answer this. He's more pissed off that he's got to deal with this. Unfortunately, that's the responsibility of being someone that's hunted. He said in a press conference, this will never happen again. I'm going to make an example of it. And if you're going to come in and gate crash my press conference, you have to earn the right to get in the ring with me. It doesn't mean you're scared of the people behind you. But this guy, you know, he'll answer questions for the fans. You know, will Ben, this guy's got a great record. He's done X, Y, Z. He's coming there like Clubber Lang, trying to make a show of himself. He wants what I've got. Ben's peeved. And so therefore, I reckon, don't be fooled. I reckon he'll work twice as hard, and we will see the best of Ben, because we've got somebody that wants it, that's going to come for him, that's not come to survive, that's put his neck on the line, that if he doesn't win, he gets embarrassed. So I reckon this fight doesn't go the distance, but it'll be a good fight.
We look forward to a great event, Saturday, June 15th, Selhurst Park. Johnny, in other news, just want to ramble on some other topics going on in boxing. Let's start off with Chris Eubank Jr. announced that he's now a promotionally free agent. Obviously, Chris has been promoted by Kala, Frank, Eddie. I know he's worked with Boxer. Do you think that'd be a big coup for Boxer to bring him on board?
Chris doesn't have to work with anybody. Chris can just say, right then, let's do a deal for a one-fight deal. He's in that position. And again, I'm always for the fighters, and I like to see fighters in a position where the promoter and the managers work for them. That's how it should be. And there's very few fighters that have enough clout to actually make that be the case. Most fighters are phone up the managers and phone up the promoters saying, can you help me, can you help me? It's the other way around. You know, so on the surface, the fighter employs the promoter and the manager. But in reality, the manager, he holds the puppets, he holds the purse strings, he's a puppet master in regards to every fighter's career. So I like the fact that Chris is in a position now where, and he's one of few fighters that is in a position now where he can cherry pick. He's not wrong, that's how it should be. Ben Whittaker is in that position. That's how it should be. And so people are talking like, ooh, that's a big deal. No, that's how it should be. You know, AJ is in that position. That's how it should be. You know, but most fighters aren't in that position. And most managers and promoters hate that because then, you know, they've got to actually really prioritise a fighter they're managing or promoting. So Chris, good on him, man. Good. He doesn't have to do a deal with anybody because there's an appetite for him.
I know there were serious talks between Chris Eubank Jr. and Kell Brook. Kell said he wanted to come out to retirement. We spoke about that a while ago, so let's not talk about him coming out of retirement. But do you feel like that fight could still take place?
I think if they offer enough money, yes. If they don't offer enough money, Kell's happy to stay retired. My personal opinion has nothing to do with this. But I think that is the case. If they offer enough money, it can happen. If they don't, it won't. Kell financially is good. Kell financially, you know, if he thinks of a ridiculous figure and someone pays it, he'll do it.
Moving on, Anthony Yarde, Joshua Boatsy. Looks like Frank Warren's come out, Ben Shalom's come out, that terms have been agreed. Seems like there's a stumbling block between Frank Warren and Anthony Yarde and his team. We're not sure on the exact details. You know, Frank did an interview recently, I believe, on Box Nation, where he said that he was hoping that things could be resolved. What's your take on this? And I believe it was a 50-50 complete split, agreed by the broadcasters as well.
I don't know if it's a contractual conversation with Anthony and Frank. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. If the fight's going to happen, it will happen. Anthony Yarde's in a powerful position. Don't let anybody tell you you're not. And so is Joshua Boatsy. This fight can happen. It's a case of who does it. So don't get smoke screened by any foolishness. Both fighters are in a strong position. Stand your ground. Ask for what you want, and stick to your guns.
Seems like coming out from Saudi Arabia and other rumours that Anthony Joshua could fight the winner of Dubois, Hrgovic or Wilder Zhang. So does that automatically mean that it looks like we are definitely going to see a two-fight deal? The two-fight deal that's in place, they're definitely going to have their rematch. I'm talking about Usyk Fury here.
I don't know. I'll tell you why I don't know. It depends if Usyk and Fury, if Fury loses bad, I think Fury will go off the rails massively. Remember all the things he said, all the things he's said about Gatti jumped up cruiserweight. I think it'll be very hard for him to get his head round if he loses bad. If he loses close, there'll be a rematch. I think for Anthony Joshua, out of that trio of out of those fighters that he's mentioned, I don't think it'll be Wilder. I don't think it'll be Zhang. I think it'll be Hrgovic. He ends up fighting. Good fights between all of them, but I think it'll be Hrgovic. And Anthony Joshua's not talking about Tyson Fury. He don't care about the outcome of that because he's probably been messed about enough by, as far as he's concerned, by Tyson Fury to actually think anything can happen until it actually happens. So he's going staying on his own path.
Got to ask you, the Texas Commission have officially sanctioned Jake Paul vs Mike Tyson to be an official fight. We saw what happened to Evander Holyfield. Is there a risk here that we might see, Mike Tyson end up, not in the most respectful way, looking like a meme because, he's close to 60 years old. He's fighting someone who's young. Although some people have the question marks about Jake Paul, but he's still got age on his side. He's practicing the art of boxing. But is that a risk? What do you have to say about the Texas Commission?
Jake Paul's buying a scalp. Look at what he did to Anderson Silva. In reality, come on, man. So you've got a young man that's fit and young, that has the naivety of the fan base to praise him like he's a god, to go in there and buy a scalp, as in Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, I've decided it's a money grab. Mike Tyson must be getting paid ridiculous dough. So it's not for you and I to say don't do it when he's getting 50 mil at 57 years old. Where else is a 57-year-old going to get that kind of money? So he's buying a scalp. I don't think Mike Tyson's going to go in there and embarrass himself, but he's going to go in there and try his hardest. You've got to remember, Mike Tyson, when he was at the back end of his career, when he was an active professional, his style didn't work for him. He was too slow. That style works for a young, fit man. He's a 57-year-old man now, going in with another young, fit man. That can pop, that can move, that can try and stay out of his way. And it's like you see these old footballers, they've got a big belly on them, but if it's there, stood there, and they're not having to run around, they'll run rings around, they'll flick, whip, everything. You can't touch them, but when they've got to use their feet, use their pace, use the energy levels they've got, they can't compete. Mike won't be able to compete with that. So naively, you know, the fight fans of Jake Paul will think, oh my God, you know, they'll not understand who or what Mike Tyson, how much of an icon Mike Tyson is. Jake Paul's buying that. He's buying it. He's buying a scalp, like he did Anderson Silva. He's in a unique position. Am I happy it's happening? No, I'm not. If it's about the dough, good for you, Mike. Good for you, man. 57, you're making that kind of dough. How can anybody complain?
Final one. A man that has been the most instrumental man for you in the sport of boxing. Obviously, a movie is going to be made very soon about Prince Nassim Hamid. Obviously, Brendan Ingle being played by Pierce Brosnan. Just your thoughts on that, and how much you're looking forward to it?
Well, the film is actually about Brendan, not Naz. I don't know if Naz is. I think they reached out to Naz. They don't need his blessing. They reached out to Naz to see if he wanted to contribute. As far as I know, I don't think he has. I think the book wasn't written by Naz. It was written by Nick Pitt, and I think there was a lot of controversy around it. I think to see how Pierce Brosnan is rejigged himself to think, oh God, I see that. He came down to the gym. It's nice seeing it with the gym. It's flattering to know, you know, they're doing a story on Brendan. I can remember Pierce Brosnan being ringside when Naz boxed in the States. I think it was Pete Diddy. There was Lopez. I remember all these people going to watch Naz. Who'd believe years down the line, Pierce Brosnan's going to play Brendan? They're filming on set over the next 6 weeks or so. So I'm going to go up there, see what they're doing. I talked to a couple of the directors and the writers. And, you know, they're asking for little habits Brendan had. It was nice actually talking to him about Brendan having a glass of milk and a piece of cake, little things like that. I am intrigued, I'm excited to see how this turns out, but absolutely flattered to know the man they're doing a story about. So good on him, Brendan, and again it keeps his legacy and his dream alive.
Joke aside, I know sometimes I do rinse you, but did they ask you to play any sort of role in the movie?
Yeah, they've got Gary Coleman playing me. What you talking about?
Why didn't you?
No, I don't know, man. I'm too old for that. Why would I get in there? I think they'll probably get somebody in there, but I gather there was a line in the book, or a bit in the book, where I think Naz wanted Brendan to get rid of everybody out of the gym and just train him. And Brendan said something along the lines, you know, what about my other fighters? What about your mate Johnny Nelson? And Naz is like, come on, Bren. Johnny's not going to make world champion. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I think they're kind of finishing on something like that, me winning the world title. I don't know if it's true. I don't know how they're going to play it out. But I think this is homage to Brendan. It ain't a homage to Naz. It's homage to Brendan. And listen to me. I was around Naz in the day, man, and he's got some amazing footage of all them man that used to come to watch him train. And they would all be there, like Michael Jackson, P. Diddy, Donald Trump. They're all there, and he's got it on camera. I don't know what he's doing with it. I don't know. It's like, I want all the sweets and cake, and I don't want to share it with anybody. I think he's got some really good material there. But I suppose it's like he wants to control every aspect of it. So, this thing, if you're going to keep it, it's invaluable. What are you going to do with it? It don't mean nothing. It's like having a Porsche that's covered up in the garage. You're never going to use it. So he's got some amazing footage. I'm quite sure he could depict his own version of it. but I am really looking forward to seeing how this film turns out.
Johnny, we are also looking forward to that movie. Thank you for your time as always, and yeah, we'll catch up with you very soon.
Peace. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Johnny.
Win gold now. IPMB is giving away 5 24-karat gold coins to our token holders worth over $2,000 each.
Let's do this.
Thank you very much for this great news. It's amazing.
It's never been easier to own gold, so join the raffle now.
I got a question for you. Where can discipline take you? Discipline points you towards your goals.